Complex News, I'm Pierce Simpson. 2019 could very well be a pivotal moment in music because it not only marked the 10-year anniversary of Drake's mixtape So Far Gone, it set the precedent of an artist getting enough clearance to re-release their previous mixtape on a streaming service. Drake's So Far Gone was able to give him his latest #1 album, a decade after it was released. With that in mind, our Complex Music department has crafted up a list of the best mixtapes that should be on streaming platforms today. Lil Wayne, The Drought 3. Back in 2007, there was little debating Lil Wayne's status as one of the best rappers alive. In fact, the New Orleans native let the world know his thoughts on himself on the Carter 2. And in between his full-fledged album releases, Wayne would grant us with The Drought 3. With plenty of classics like Upgrade You, Dough Is What I Got, Throw Some D's and more, Wayne would easily take a top-tier artist record and dominate his verses to the point that you'd forget about the original. The very next year would be Wayne's peak as an artist. 2008 would witness the release of the Carter 3, which generated 1 million sales in a week. Tyler, the Creator, Bastard. Last week, news circulated online that Rick Ross had interest in signing Tyler, the Creator after the release of Yonkers in 2011. Although Rose was accurate in spotting the superstar potential of Tyler, he probably should have had a bit more foresight because in 2009, Tyler's Bastard mixtape generated a ton of commentary and acclaim. The Polarizing Project immediately started off by blasting every notable blog of that era and introduced the world to the no-f***s-given attitude of Odd Future. Jayco, Friday Night Lights. Over the past decade, you could argue that no other artist has built a cult-like following quite like J. Cole. No matter the venue or the place in the world, J. Cole's fans will support in full volume, and something tells me that Friday Night Lights has something to do with that. This 2010 mixtape easily solidified J. Cole as one of the pivotal forces in that new era of hip-hop. With self-produced records that included samples from the likes of Stevie Wonder, it's hard to envision this mixtape ever being able to be cleared for streaming purposes. But considering the quality and the fact that many fans consider this mixtape to be the best work of his career, Cole might need to do everything in his power to make this project more accessible. Diplomats, Volume 1. While some were claiming that Drake's So Far Gone revolutionized the way mixtapes were being presented, it was Cam and the Diplomats that really started the trend. At the start of 2002, Cam began to formally introduce his Diplomat Collective with Diplomats Volume 1. The Harlem rapper was fresh off stunning the rap world by signing with childhood friend Dame Dash over at Rockefeller Records. As the story goes, Cam famously forced his way out of his Epic Records deal by walking into the Sony building and allegedly smacking around grown folks like they were his kids. This tape began with the group's onslaught on rap, proudly putting themselves on the front lines of the Jay-Z and Nas beef. It also served as promo for Come Home With Me, Cam's first solo album on the rock, and it featured Oh Boy and Come Home With Me, which would eventually become album singles. 50 Cent is the Future. June 2002's 50 Cent is the Future followed up with Guess Who's Back from a few months earlier, and like Diplomats Volume 1, 50 Cent is the Future serves as the proper introduction to 50's own crew, G-Unit. The tape's massive success and critical reception made 50 the most sought-after free agent at the time. What made this tape unique was instead of just freestyling over hot beats of the time, 50 and company remixed popular songs like Tweet's Call Me and Nina Simone's Feeling Good. 50 and G-Unit will put out 2 more tapes and sign with Shady Interscope before the year was up, essentially making 50 Cent the biggest rap star in the world, behind Eminem and Jay-Z. Nostalgia Ultra. We're very grateful to have Nostalgia Ultra because it introduced us to Frank Ocean. While he had already established himself as a songwriter, Nostalgia Ultra was his turn at becoming a solo artist. Like most artists of that period, this is basically a free album disguised as a mixtape. The songwriting and production were so impressive due to the fact of Frank Ocean's ability to blend pop, rap music, and R&B so effortlessly. Novocaine was the biggest song on this tape, making Frank Ocean one of music's most intriguing rising stars and forcing people to search the tape online because it was released on his Tumblr with no promotion. The songs on Ultra were thought out and structured in a way we weren't used to when it came to mixtapes. Those are just a few of the choices. To see the entire list, be sure to head over to complex.com, but in the meantime, be sure to keep things locked to us by subscribing to Complex News on YouTube. For Complex News, I'm Pierce Simpson.